Let's go into 4F. All right. So let's get into now 4F. Okay, there we are. Now I can see it. All right, workshop 4F. We're probably going to continue on a little bit more nutrition here. I think there's a little bit more nutrition here to finish off, but let's see what we got. Can you, oh, here we go. Explain your limitations and scope of practice in providing healthy eating information to this client. So let's go back and read a little bit about this client. So this client is Jemima. All right. Jemima's training from memory. Jemima was the one that was coming to the group training classes. She was eating some carbohydrates before her exercise session, some toast because it gave her some carbohydrates to burn during the exercise class and because it is affordable. She has small children, low socioeconomic status. Okay, so this is a little bit of background. Gemma asked you to recommend what she would eat to prevent upset and advice and remove gluten from her diet. Okay. So first of all, before we get into questions, if she's looking for carbohydrates or some energy before her work, she's fine, which is good. But this is making her feel for whatever reason. What might be an option you might tell her to eat before a training session?
Fruit?
Yeah, I think fruit's the easiest option for most people. It's portable, it's quick, you don't have to make it, you don't have to spread anything on it. Typically, fruit is going to be easily digested by everybody, particularly things like bananas. There is some fiber in there, which helps to make them feel a little bit more full. And typically, fruit will have a little bit more sort of vitamin and mineral content when you compare it to a piece of bread, especially the processed breads that are in the supermarkets and stuff, okay? So, yeah. But she's talking about removing gluten from your diet. Now, as a personal trainer, what are your limitations and scope of practice in providing healthy information in regards to eating? So what can't we do, first of all, and then what can we do?
I can't give a specific eating plan.
Yep. Or we cannot actually diagnose her with a condition. So we would say, as a trainer, we are not allowed to diagnose any nutritional conditions or prescribe specific dietary plans.
Yeah,
so that's what we can. That's what we can't do.
We're not allowed to
diagnose. Yep.
A specific eating plan.
Yep. So what I would do where you see diagnose, I would add we're not allowed to diagnose any nutritional conditions. So we can't say to the client, you have celiac disease, you have irritable bowel syndrome, you have, lactose.
We just refer
lactose. Yeah, exactly right. But what advice can we give? We can give general advice based upon Australian healthy eating guidelines, which is I recommend you should try and eat more of this, you should try and eat less of this. That's the sort of general information. But we can't say you should eat 130 grams of carbohydrates and 70 grams of protein and 25 grams of fat. A lot of trainers don't get me wrong, but theoretically that's outside our scope of practice, right?
Yeah. So what are the Australian healthy eating guidelines?
Yeah. Exactly right. Okay. So number 2. All right. So here we go. A referral letter. All right. So why don't we grab the last one? Yep, that you did. And then in 4E, so try and go back into 4E, see if you can, hopefully. And then let's try and copy and paste that one in here. And once that's in there, we'll start to try and wiggle some things around here. Okay, so we're going to talk about Jemima now. So about my client Jemima, you can keep the same date of birth, that's fine. It's Jemima with a G. Sorry, mate, just trying to be specific here. So Jemima with a G. Yep. Okay. So instead of saying who came to us looking to start a weight loss program, you say who is currently doing group training sessions with me. In fact, sorry, mate, I don't want to try and sort of overteach you here. I think this might be a good one. So what I want you to do is go have a look at the structure of this letter already, scroll up and have a look at what's going on with her and see if you can plug this information and adjust this referral letter, okay?
Okay. So
what I would do probably from here, Shannon, is I would probably try and start a new paragraph here. So it's just not like a big block of text, yeah? Okay. So where it says Jemima, yeah? There I would start a new paragraph, yeah? And then I would, volume is total for energy. Okay, you keep going. So I guess what you're going to be asking for in this last paragraph is something about you know, I would looking for your advice in giving her assistance with some healthy meal choices that she can afford and creating an eating plan that suits her needs and income or something like that. So you've done a really good job. You've done a really good job in identifying the fact that she comes from a lower socioeconomic status, so that the nutritionist can lean their information more towards, okay, here are some more cheap and affordable options for you and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing a good job here. This is good.
All right, what should I write? I just went blank.
So okay, let's have a look. Hang on, I'm just going down to your program.
So it's still just, I haven't written anything after the
Yeah,
background.
okay. Okay, yeah, so okay. So I'm looking, yeah, and believe toast is a more affordable option. So just take out that and then I would write, I'm looking for your assistance in setting a healthy and achievable eating plan that she can stick to and that is also affordable to meet her needs. I'm looking for your assistance in setting her a healthy and achievable eating plan that she can stick to, that is affordable, and also to investigate her causes of stomach upset or something like that. Yeah. Also to investigate her causes of stomach upset. So there you basically covered everything, all of her concerns there. Stomach upset, not knowing what to eat before exercise, low socioeconomic. So you've kind of really covered everything in that letter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you can see how now, so you can really start to like drag and drop some of these referral letters and just change the information. And it just saves you so much time in the long run. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So we've probably got about 10 minutes left. Let's see if we can just bang a little bit of this out. So this is really a simple one. Assuming you have received feedback from a GP saying, look, she's okay, everything's good, we've cleared everything up, she's good to exercise, design a suitable fitness program for her. So she does group training in a circuit format, okay? So all I want you to do here is just, you've got to have to put together for her a little simple sort of circuit program. Imagine that she's got a group of 6 to 8 friends and they're all training together with you, and you would set up some sort of circuit format, okay?
Okay.
Right. So first things first, we'll just run through sort of the warm up. So what are 3, important elements for a warm up? What sort of things would you always include in a warm up for a client?
Some cardio.
Yep.
Some kind of like a stretching.
Yep.
And I don't know, what's the third one?
Yeah, so it's kind of like we go basically like a light aerobic warm up, so just to get the blood flowing just for a couple of minutes. So it could be like a bike or something like that, or a cross trainer or a walk or a jog. Then it's dynamic range of motion, right? So you would do dynamic stretches, leg swings and arm circles and thread the needles and crucifixes and torso twists and all that sort of stuff. And then the third part would be activation. So you'd have specific activation drills. Might be glute activation, might be some lunges, might be some squats, might be some push-ups, might be some like scapular push-ups or whatever, right? But so what I suggest you do is have one sort of general sort of light aerobic cardio, then maybe 1 to 2 sort of dynamic stretches, and then 1 to 2 activation exercises here, okay? So then you've got 5 in your warm-up.
2 sets.
So reps could be like distance, it could be, time, it could be,
10 meters.
Yep, that's fine.
Tempo, no rest.
Tempo, yeah, don't worry about that. And then intensity, you always want to include like an RPE here. Yeah, so do you know what RPE is? Like a rating of perceived exertion, right? So you always want to include here how hard they want to be going on a 1 to 10 scale.
So probably 6.
Yeah, as a warm-up, maybe like a 5 to 6. So I would go 6 out of, so I'd do like 5 out of 10, and then I would write RPE. Do you understand RPE? Yeah, 5 RPE. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Now think of like a couple of dynamic sort of movement patterns, maybe 1 for the upper body and 1 for the lower body.
Would high knees be dynamic movement, or is that?
Yeah. Well, that's similar to shuttle runs. You might want to look for like a longer leg swing or some sort of like lunge for flexors. So something like that.
Crucifix.
Yeah. And then maybe think of like 1 or 2 sort of upper body dynamic stretch or activation exercises as well.
Trunk twists.
Yep.
Do we need 5?
Ideally, yeah. So let's just get one more upper body one, just for a bit of balance.
Upper body?
Yeah, upper body's probably important because you're going to be doing a full body workout with them. So think about more of like an upper body, something to do with the shoulder joints, arms, even something as simple as like arm swings or like thread the needle exercise where you go through it, reach up, yeah, those sorts of things. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now what I want you to think about here, Shannon, is think about you've got 6 to 8. Let's say we've got 8. Okay, so let's say you've got 8. You've got her and 7 others in a bit of a circuit in a group. So think about just a bit of a circuit format. I mean, you know, we don't really have a lot of information about where she's at or anything, so you can kind of throw whatever you want in there. Just consider elements of upper body, lower body, posterior chain, anterior chain. Just have a nice, well-balanced sort of 8-station workout here, okay?
Okay.
And then think about if it's a circuit format, you might have one that's more of like an upper body focus and the second one might be more lower body, or you might have a anterior focus for one and a posterior focus, just so that you're not like overloading muscle groups in the same in order, you know? So you want to have a bit of a balance here.
Okay.
You might want to throw some core stuff in there as well. You know, yeah. So what I suggest, if you think about, you know, circuits, like you don't really want to be working for reps, because if everyone's on a different station, people are going to be starting and finishing at different times. So you definitely want to be working on, you know, sort of work rest intervals here for sure. Yeah, there you go. So 45-15 is always good. The reason why that's good, Shannon, because you're working on a minute, right? So it's really easy to kind of teach, you know, because every minute, you know, the new station starts. It's not confusing for people. 15 seconds is enough time for them to rest and to move on, et cetera, okay? So what I want you to do here is you have to think about, with your intensities, you've got 2 options here. If it's a body weight movement, you'll have to put down, you know, something like BW for body weight. And then if it's a weighted exercise, you want to include some sort of like percentage effort, yeah? So like a percentage of their 1RM or something like that, or like an RPE out of 10. It's always really important that you include some sort of that, so we know how hard they should be going.
Okay, so dumbbell curl and squat, is that a percentage RPE?
Yeah, I would probably just include like a percentage of 1RM. And the reason why I do that is because you're doing a weighted exercise for reps. Now, how you would do this, or yeah, first of all, let's see how you, 60%, yeah? So why did you choose 60% for that? How would you explain that?
Because it's 45 seconds is a pretty long time to be doing reps. So I didn't want to make it too heavy so her form doesn't go out. She has that risk of injuring herself.
That's exactly right. So you always want to start with your time frame that the client's training for. So 45 seconds is a good chance they're getting through maybe 15 reps, maybe 12 reps, depending on what tempo that they're working at. So you want to make sure that you're choosing a percentage that suits that. If you wrote 80% there, I'd be like, well, they're not lasting 45 seconds. They may be lasting 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay, yeah, good. Now push-ups, obviously that's BW because that's your body weight, yeah? Okay, and then you can just kind of work your way down with that concept there.
Russian twist, RPE.
Yeah.
That pull down.
60% of a 1RM again, because again, if it's similar sort of work, yeah. So there you go. You can see how we're going here. Yeah.
Ball slam, RPE.
Yeah, I'd work an RPE there. Yep.
Wall sit, body weight.
Yep.
And leg raises is RPE, I guess.
Well, it's probably body weight again, unless they're doing them weighted. Yeah, unless they're doing them weighted, it'd be body weight. Yeah. Good. Okay. Now, just a quick question here, Shannon. If you were to manipulate the work to rest ratios, so let's say you've gone through 2 rounds and everyone's really struggling. Yeah. What could you do? How could you manipulate those work to rest ratios to make it a bit easier for the 3rd round?
I would increase the rest.
Yep.
And maybe decrease the effort time. So the reps so probably bring it down to 40 seconds and the rest will go to 20 seconds.
Perfect. Yeah. So essentially at the moment you're running what's called like a 3-to-1 work to rest ratio. Yeah. So 3 work to 1 rest, 45-15. So if you went to a 40-20, that's a 2-to-1 work to rest ratio. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what would be like a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio?
So 30 seconds, 30 reps.
Yeah, 30. That's the easiest way to go, right? So one of the easiest ways to increase intensity in a circuit format is just to manipulate work to rest ratios, right? So literally the difference between 30-30 and 50-10 is 50-10 is 5-1 and 30-30 is 1-1. So 50-10 is 5 times harder than 30-30.
Okay.
Because you're getting really very little rest and you're working a long time. Okay, so it kind of gets harder exponentially. So sometimes it's just a little bit of a difference makes a big difference to the intensity. Okay, really simple here just to finish off, Shannon, because I know you got to dash out. And we might just finish off this program next time I see you because there's a few other things. One cardio exercise to cool down, and then 5 stretches for me. Okay.
Just go for a walk.
Yeah, one light cardio exercise. Again, walk.
For 5 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, always throw an RPE, and then 5 static stretches here. That would be specific to the muscle groups that you've trained within this workout. Yeah.
So flexibility. So hip flex.
Add those and add some of them into the cool down as well. So you've got those 5 spots there. So just put off
So what else do you want me to add into the cool down?
Oh, just add 2 stretches. Just use those spaces to add more stretches. Yeah. So I like to see like one cardio cool down, then 5 stretches. Perfect. Yeah, and then just put on those just the times that you'd be holding those stretches. So is it 1 round, 20 seconds each? Is it 2 rounds, 15 seconds? You know what I mean? Like, just have a think about how you would put that together. Mate, really well done today.